our company, we really do a lot of financial education. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to just kind of give you a 30,000 foot view of what it is we do, who we work with, how things work on our end. And like Kalicia had said, feel free to ask any questions that come to mind. Anything that you ask is going to help them. And then just kind of listen to it and say, hey, listen to it out of a perspective of, is this anything that can impact and help me in my life? Or at the same time, do I know any other people that could use this information that could help them out as well? So we actually are a Transamerica company. Not sure if you've been out to San Francisco, but this is a San Francisco skyline. This tall pointed building in the middle is the Transamerica building. And so we actually have a parent company named Aegon. They've been around for 175 years. They're a global 100 company. They have over $500 billion in assets. Forbes has named them one of 9 companies that's absolutely too big to fail. So Aegon decided to come to the United States. They purchased Transamerica back in about 2000 because of the distribution model we have. The distribution model that World Financial Group has is why they purchased Transamerica. And so World Financial Group is a sister company. They are basically the Amazon of financial services. They only do like the back office, the marketing, the payroll, the compliance. And within World Financial Group, we are with the agency Pinnacle Elite. And so what we do is, we're a non-captive agency. We're partnered with over 100 different A+, A++ rated companies, ones that you're probably familiar with, like the Pac Lifes, the Prudentials, Nationwides, Franklin Templeton Investments. And what we do with our clients is we sit down, we hash out their goals, we see exactly where they're trying to go in life, and we see if there's anything that we have that can help them. And then from there, what we do is we match them up with the company that suits them the best. So instead of just trying to, work with one company and fit everybody in, we get to work with a whole lot of different ones and sit down and let you know which one is actually best suited for you. So instead of taking a sales approach, we take an educational approach. And so what we do is we do a lot of different retirement planning, or a lot of different financial services, like retirement planning, all types of life insurance, long-term care plans. We do have college plans that are sometimes a little bit different from the norm. Now we do have, 529s we're able to do, but we also have plans just in case a child never goes to college, that you're not penalized if they decide, hey, I want to start a business, or I want to do something different. I want to use this for a down payment on a house. Then we have those options as well to do things like that. We have indexed accounts. We have executive bonus plans for business owners, legacy planning, wills, trust, and so much more. And so our main mission is to make sure no family is left behind. When you think about this country, we're divided up into 2 groups. We have those on the family A side, which is 95% of middle America, and those on family B side, which is the top 5% of the country. Those on the family A side, they're making less than $100,000 a year. They have a job, they have a 401k at work, typically term life insurance, put money in the bank when they want to save it, minimal tax advantages, no advisor, and no plan. Why would you say most people on family A probably do not have an advisor or a plan?
Because they're not really looking for the future. Most of the family A are like focused on the right now.
Right. No, that's true. That's very, very true. And then you have those on the family B side, which is top 5% of the country. These individuals, they own businesses, they have indexed accounts, they have permanent life insurance, they have a diverse portfolio, maximize their tax advantages, have a financial professional. And one of the reasons they actually do is once you start making $200,000, $250,000, these big name companies actually start reaching out to you saying, hey, congratulations. We would love to share some more strategies with you on how to build your wealth, what you should be doing with your money, which is all fine and dandy. But who is looking out for those that are making $50,000? No one is really checking on you until you make a whole lot of money. And that's where we come into place. We don't care if a family is making, $1,000, $5,000 a month, we're going to give them that same financial education that those on the family B side are actually getting. So I'm going to go over a couple of different fundamentals and rules of money. Some of these you might be familiar with, some of these you might not. But this very first one, it is the most important thing that I am going to say tonight. It's the rule of 72. Albert Einstein said this is the 8th wonder of the world. Basically how your money is compounding. You take the percent interest of an account, divide it into 72. That's how your money doubles. So if you had a 1% account, one goes into 72 times. So if you were 29 years old, you had this account, you put $10,000 in it, 72 years later, by the time you're 101, your account finally has $20,000. Now, I don't know about you, but if it takes my money 72 years to grow, that's going to be entirely too long for myself or even my children. But unfortunately, really at the bank, you're seeing less than that. You're seeing a fraction, you're seeing a 0.01% account. But most people, that's really all they know about is putting money in the bank to save it. And then, if you had a 4% account, 4 goes into 72 18 times. This money is going to double every 18 years. A 6% account, 6 goes into 72 12 times. This money doubles every 12 years. And then a 12% account, 12 goes into 72 6 times. So this 29-year-old, is doubling at 35, 41. By the time they're 65, they now have $640,000. And here's where most individuals say, hey, you know what, Terry, that 6 and that 12% look great, but I've never really seen accounts that do that. And that's when I ask most people, well, when's the last time you sat down with a licensed financial professional? And most people are going to say, you know what, I actually never have. And that's why I tell them, that's why you haven't seen this. But then we're going to share how money grows. So money grows 3 different ways. Most people are very familiar with the first 2. You have your fixed accounts, which is, attached to the banks. Usually it's CDs, savings accounts, something that doesn't see a whole lot of growth. It does not outpace inflation, but you don't lose money. And then you have variable, variable is attached to the market. As the market goes up, your money goes up. But at the same time, when that market goes down, your money goes down, and you don't really have control over it. And when you think about the definition of the word variable actually means unreliable, unpredictable, and unsecured. And so that is how, money would work in a variable account, which though, unfortunately, is where most people have the majority of their retirement in accounts that are variable. So right now with your TSP, how do you have that allocated, or do you know? Excuse me, I'm about to sneeze. That's why I'm making these weird faces.
I think it's variable. I have to look at it.
Okay, so Robert might come on in a little bit because I know he knows more about the different sections of the TSP that he might be able to.
Yes.
You say it's down? Hold on, Robert, you're kind of muffled. You're kind of like far away. You said the TSP is down 2 to 3%?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. And then there's other options. There's indexed accounts where index is least known about, but index is basically a hybrid of the first 2. So with the indexed accounts, they're actually able to mirror the market. So as the market goes up, these accounts go up with them. You take those gains, but as the market goes down, you lock into a floor and you never lose anything. And then when that market goes back up, your money goes up again. You lock in, but when the market goes down, you lock in those gains again. And so with index, you're able to take all the gains of the market and never have to worry about losses. So if you had to choose, Darren, how would you prefer your money to grow? fixed, variable, or index, which way would you say?
Index.
All righty. And then let's talk about taxes. Basically, there's 3 different ways we get taxed in this country. You know, we have tax now, tax later, and tax advantage. Most things going on in the tax now account. This means they're being taxed multiple times. So, you know, the money that you already put into these accounts has been taxed already by your employer. As it's growing, you're getting taxed on the growth. And then when you go to pull this money out again, you get taxed again in these accounts. Then with tax later, most of the retirements that people know about, 401ks, IRAs, annuities, TSPs, all of these accounts, you know, they're funded with pre-tax dollars. So you're not taxed up front. As it's growing, you're not taxed on the growth. But when you do finally go to pull all this money out, that's when you're finally going to get hit with all these taxes. And that is, you know, when you think about the country right now, $30 trillion in debt, historically low tax brackets. When you think about the future, you know, all signs are pointing that taxes have to go up. And so that is going to affect those taxes that you've been holding off on to the future, because now you're going to get taxed, you know, at a higher rate on sums of money that's larger than it was, you know, when you first put it in. And then you have tax advantage. These basically are accounts that are taxed up front. So the money that you put in them has already been taxed by your employer. But as it's growing, it's going to grow tax-free. And when you go to pull this money out, you get to pull it out tax-free. And so if you had to think about how you would prefer to be taxed, tax now, tax later, or tax advantage, which way would you say?
Tax advantage.
So the majority of people that we sit with, they say, hey, you know what, those index accounts, that looks like something I have interest in. Those tax advantage accounts, that's something that, you know, I'm interested in as well. And so we sit down with everyone and we do a financial needs analysis. Most companies are going to charge anywhere from $500 to $2,500 to do this. We do ours completely complimentary. We don't charge anything. We just look at 6 different things. We say, hey, what is the priority of the client? Number one, are you interested in increasing cash flow? You know, college planning, or just preparing for a child's future, having an emergency fund with 3 to 6 months, you know, proper protection against loss of income, and also your family assets. And here, you know, it's a lot of times people think about life insurance, but they only know about the life insurance that your family gets if you pass away. And really, there's other insurance available that if, while you're still alive, if you become critically, chronically, terminally ill, there are policies that allow you to pull out of them while you're still alive and can take care of missed income. They can take care of medical need. So there are accounts that actually take care of you while you're alive, and you get to use them to insure your life. And then you go ahead and look at accounts and say, hey, I'm interested in building wealth, outpacing inflation and reducing your taxes, and then preserving your wealth. And so when Aretha Franklin passed away, you know, she had an $80 million net worth. As soon as she passed away, you know, her money went straight to probate. The lawyers got paid, the courts got paid, the government got paid, all before her family seen a dime. And so if you had to choose which way, or not, you have to choose which of these 2 to 3 are top priorities for you right now, what would you say?
1 and 3.
All righty. Okay. Do you have any type of emergency fund right now at all?
Somewhat. It's been kind of depleted the last couple of months, but I do.
Okay, no problem. All right, so when you say number 1, let me just make sure, are you looking more into the additional income for cash flow, or more so managing expenses?
Managing expenses.
Okay. And so I'm going to come back to those 2 things in a little bit. But what I'm going to do really quickly, really briefly, I am going to switch gears. I'm going to just share with you really quickly what things look like on the side of what Robert Plessy and myself are doing. And so I know this might not be for you, but you might know somebody that's in a place of transition, someone that's looking for something extra, just so you can kind of see, you know, you might be able to refer them on over to Robert and just kind of let them know, hey, this person might be interested in what you guys are doing. And so when you look at an opportunity, we always know there's a sweet spot. There's always that time like, hey, if we could go back 30 years from now and invest in Amazon, that probably would have been the best thing any of us could do. But unfortunately, that ship has sailed for that type of opportunity. But right now, in financial services, we are going through that same type of growth experience. And that's all because of these baby boomers. So 78 million people affected every single industry they ever grew through. And so baby food, it was about to go out of business. Actually, Gerber was about to go out of business in 1945. All of a sudden, all these babies were born. Gerber Foods turned into the Gerber Foods we know today. Same with the toys. They got a little bit older. The parents had to figure out how to occupy them. The toy industry blew up. They got a little bit older. The parents had to figure out how to feed all these kids. That's where we saw the birth of fast food, McDonald's, Dairy Queen, which completely revolutionized our world. They got older as well. They wanted different cars than their parents. That's where we saw the birth of the Mustang. Had their own families, real estate. And right now, these individuals are getting ready for retirement or they're retiring. So this is causing a huge financial need in the financial services realm. And also, we're actually about to be going through what's called the Great Wealth Transfer. It's going to be the most assets we've ever seen passed down in the history of our country, which is actually 68 trillion coming in these next 15 to 20 years. And so when you look at our industry right now, nearly half of all the advisors are over 55, a third are retiring in this next decade. And even right now, we're short over 200,000. And so when you look at the way that our model is set up for business, we have no employees, no inventory. We don't have overhead. We don't make cold calls. We don't knock on doors. There is no boss and there are no quotas. There's absolutely no experience necessary. We have no set schedules. We get paid twice a week, every Tuesday, every Friday. We're able to earn residual income, trail income renewal, even get that 1099 to help with tax breaks and benefits. We do have bonuses, unlimited income potential, and even ownership program to where you can decide at any point, hey, you know what, I'm going to sell my business back to the company, or you can will your business to anybody that you want and they will take it on and just be able to make the passive income that you have created. And so when we sit down with our clients, we all get licensed, we pass a background check, but when we sit down with our clients, the average family is going to save about $200 a month. So an associate with us working extremely part-time, if they're helping just one client a week, 4 clients a month, now with that, they're going to be earning on average about $4,300 extra, a little bit less than $52,000 a year. Then if they've reached the broker position with our firm, which is the senior marketing director, and they're still helping those same 4 families a month, 1 family a week, now they're bringing in $7,600, a little bit less than $93,000 a year. And then if you're a broker and you're leading an organization of 5 people and you've trained all 5 people how to help 1 client a week, now you're going to be earning about $25,000 a month, a little bit less than $300,000 a year. And so we do get paid 5 different ways. We have our personal income from when we sit down with families and write business. We have our agency income. So like real estate, they have agents, they have brokers. You can override your agency. We're open in all 50 states, Canada and Puerto Rico. We're able to earn bonuses and we have reoccurring income. So anytime we sit down with a client and we help them get into a product, that next year when that policy renews, we still earn about an additional 3 to 5%. And so this is our Executive Leadership Council. We are the #1 financial services leadership and development firm in the country. And so just looking at this group of individuals really quickly, what are some things that you notice that stand out to you? Just looking at this page real quick.
Diversity.
Right, absolutely. And that's one thing that we really take pride in. We have a lot of diversity on our team. We have people from all different walks of life, all different nationalities, all different ages, races. But that is just a testament to our system and to who we are. And so no matter who you are, what your background is, you're able to plug into our system and have a lot of success. And so this is just a little bit of our Executive Leadership Council. These individuals come from different places. Let's just say this first guy, his name is Juan Jaime, immigrant from Mexico, used to be a plumber. Now with our firm, he earns over 7 figures annually. The second couple is Dr. Linda Daniel Fambo. They both were nurses. He was a nurse practitioner. She was a nurse anesthesiologist. They've been with us for 4 years now. Now they're earning over $3.5 million annually. We have car mechanics, people that started at 19 years old as servers, corporate executives, college athletes, a lot of medical personnel. We have a lot of military within our firm, and either active duty or even veterans that are retired. And so then we do have real estate agents. We have CPAs, we have truck drivers. It does not matter the background, you name it. We got somebody that has been able to plug in and see a lot of success. And so these individuals are the ones that do a lot of mentoring, coaching. And in order for them to just be able to coach us on that level, they have to earn at least $400,000 a year. And their incomes do range all the way up to $9.5 million annually. And so, we actually believe in the 5 F's here at Pinnacle. We believe in your faith, your family, your finance, your fitness, and your fun. We believe that we are going to be able to impact and enhance all those areas of people's lives. But we also have been recognized, in Forbes magazine, Finance magazine, Time and Fortune. We do give back to some different organizations. We travel. There's a trip to Hawaii that can be earned every single year, and you get to take who you want to take. You can take family, you can go solo, you can do what you want to do. We also have trips we have a villa out in St. Martin. We also, do travel. We traveled. One of our mentors, he actually has a villa in Italy that we go to. We have we went to Pelican Hill last year in California, right in Newport Beach area. We were out in Cancun. We had a cruise schedule that we postponed because of the pandemic, but we just do a lot of recognition and rewarding, letting people know that their hard work helping families does not go unnoticed. And at the same time, they're still able to build and live the life that they want for them and their families. And so just really quickly, I'm going to give you some of the numbers for 2021. 2021, actually, now we have over 54,000 licensed agents that work with us. And then we've helped over 5 million families. During the pandemic, we actually saw an increase in business of over 37%. This is because we now are pretty much all virtual. We don't have to leave. We don't have to go to an office. We don't have to go to anybody's house. We're able to work right from home and help families. And so we've been able to help more. And even last year alone, we paid out over $1.1 billion to all of our field. And so now, before I ask this next question, out of everything that I showed you so far, what questions do you have? What came to mind? Is there anything that you have questions about?
No, I was pretty much straightforward with it. So
Okay. All right, no problem. And so what we normally do for the next conversation, we take it one of two ways. We say, hey, you know what? Let's look into this complementary financial strategy. Let's just kind of look into see, more about the managing of the expenses, more of the emergency fund, anything else like that, just to make sure that you're completely set. Everything's, set up the way that you want, especially, when you get ready to get out of the military as well. So we can just take that route, more product services, or you can say, hey, you know what, that referral income sound a little bit intriguing, or that income sound intriguing. Can we look at some options for that? And so with that, I will say there's a couple different ways that people work with us. We have referral options, which allow people they still get a license. They're able to refer people because they know that there's people that they know that need this information. But at the same time, you don't have to talk to them. You just refer them over. We sit down with them. We talk to them. Anytime we write business, you make 50% and you never had to say anything. Or you can say, hey, this is pretty cool. I could, see myself talking to people. You can do things a little bit more part-time where you're learning and training how to be able to run these meetings and appointments by yourself. Then, of course, people work full-time as well. So just kind of thinking about either number one, do I just want to do more products, have that conversation for the next time, or do I want to do things more of a opportunity side or a little bit of both? Where do you kind of see yourself leaning towards?
Option 2.
Okay. Option 2 as referral. So were you thinking are you thinking of people that probably need to hear this information or that could benefit from it?
Yeah.
Okay.